How the hell does he know the play? We haven't even called it yet. Pierce whispered to KG, panic creeping into his voice. Kevin Garnett didn't respond. He just stared down the court, jaw clenched, watching LeBron James glide back on defense like a man who already knew how the next 24 seconds would unfold. It was Game 5 in Miami. The air was heavy, not with humidity, but with the weight of legacy. Boston's Big Three had been the gold standard, but now it felt like they were being chased down by something younger, faster, smarter. Pierce had felt pressure before, but never like this. Doc Rivers drew up a high-screen stagger set they'd run 100 times. Rondo ball up top, Ray curl from the corner. Basic, clean, executed with precision. But before Ray could even reach a spot, LeBron had already cut the passing lane. Stole it like he wrote the script. One dribble, 2 steps, and the rim nearly cracked under the violence of his dunk. The arena shook. Pierce didn't say anything this time. He just looked at the scoreboard, looked at LeBron, and then finally looked down. Halftime came, and the locker room was dead silent. "You feel that," KG finally muttered. "He's not guessing, Paul. He knows." Pierce sat with a towel over his head. He didn't even respond, because he knew Garnett was right. This wasn't luck. This wasn't instinct. This was LeBron James studying hours of tape, memorizing every set, every angle, every nuance. This was obsession disguised as preparation. In the third quarter, they tried a misdirection play. One doc swore LeBron hadn't seen all series. Midway through the action, Pierce tried to swing baseline, hoping for a blindside catch and shoot. But Bron was already there, waiting, not chasing, waiting. Pierce barely got the shot off before being smothered. By the fourth quarter, the Celtics' offense wasn't just breaking down, it was unraveling. Trust was fading. Confidence was cracking. And every time LeBron made a read, it wasn't just a defensive stop. It was a statement. Pierce sat on the bench with 3 minutes left, down double digits, and couldn't stop staring at him. "We couldn't stop him anymore," he would say years later. "Not physically, not mentally. We were veterans, champions." But he had turned the page. He wasn't chasing us anymore. He passed us. The buzzer sounded. Miami erupted. Confetti. Screams. Flashing lights. But in the Celtics locker room, stillness. Pierce sat motionless. His body ached, but it was his pride that hurt more. He wasn't afraid to lose. He'd lost before, but this time it felt different. It felt like watching a new king take the throne, and knowing, deep down, your time had ended the moment he started reading your every move like a children's book. "I don't get tired, Jimmy, do you?" LeBron's voice was calm, almost amused, like a lion circling the only other animal still standing. It was double overtime. Game 5. Bodies drenched in sweat. Jimmy Butler, bent over with his hands on his knees, looked up through the haze of exhaustion. LeBron wasn't even breathing hard. Jimmy didn't respond. He couldn't. Not because he was afraid, but because every inch of him was on fire. Just 2 months earlier, no one had given Miami a chance. A 5th seed? In the bubble? Against LeBron and AD? Laughable. But Jimmy had always lived for disrespect. Always thrived in shadows. So when he dropped 40 in Game 3, no threes, just grit, and walked off yelling they in trouble, he meant every word. But somewhere in the back of his mind, he knew the king had heard it. And the king remembers everything. Game 5 was war. No fans. No distractions. Just raw will. Jimmy had logged 47 minutes. Cuts on his knees. Bruises on his back. Every screen felt like a truck. Still, he kept coming. Backpedaling in transition. Diving for loose balls. Screaming at his teammates to lock the F*** in. But every time he looked up, LeBron was still there. Composed. Calculated. Cruel. The trash talk wasn't petty. It was precise. "You good, Jimmy? You breathing okay?" LeBron asked after another and one. His eyes locked on him. No smile this time. Jimmy just nodded barely. Not because he was fine, but because he refused to let LeBron see weakness. That night, Jimmy posted another near triple-double. Kept the series alive. Reporters called it legendary. Twitter lit up. D. Wade texted him, "You're one of them now." But in the locker room, Jimmy sat in silence. Tyler Harrow and Bam were cheering, throwing towels. But Jimmy? He stared into the ice bucket like it held some answer he couldn't reach. He knew what was coming. Game 6 was a slow death. LeBron came out like a man sent to finish a job. It wasn't showy. It wasn't loud. It was surgical. By halftime, it was over. And as the final buzzer echoed through the empty arena, Jimmy didn't drop his head. He walked, slowly, calmly. No limping, no tears. But the camera caught him whispering, "I gave it all." That was the truth. He had nothing left to give. Later, in a post-bubble interview, a reporter asked if that series broke him. Jimmy leaned back, smiled faintly, and said, "Nah, it didn't break me. It woke me up. LeBron showed me where greatness really lives. You think you're giving everything until you face him. Then you realize." He paused. "He ain't human. I have asterisk, ed up, man. I really did." Asterisk, Draymond mumbled, head bowed, tears seeping into his jersey. The locker room was deafening silence, heavier even in the Game 7 loss. Gone were the cheers, the rivalry, the adrenaline. Only heartache remained. Just hours earlier, Draymond had watched LeBron James stand in the paint like a god, his block on Iguodala still echoing through the arena, in slow-mo every replay. It wasn't just athleticism. It was authority. It was destiny. And Draymond saw in that moment what legends are made from. Not just talent, but pure will. It was the same quality Jimmy Butler had faced in the bubble. Only this was LeBron at his most relentless. He swallowed hard, rear on locker bench, remembering the shot clock winding down. He had set the pick, felt the screen, felt LeBron's eyes. And then he saw the leap, the reach, the denial, the block that cracked the foundation of Golden State's dynasty. Now, Draymond's voice was soft, hardly a whisper, but his grief was volcanic. Teammates didn't know what to say. They'd lost before. It was part of the game. But this was exposure. LeBron had not just beaten them. He had shattered their belief. "I'm sick of how he does it," whispered Steph, pacing by the whiteboard. "He just knows." Draymond didn't argue. He knew. On the court, he had fought like a beast. Off the court, he had tried to hold it together, for himself, for the team. Now his control had snapped. Tears fell, each one a confession. He couldn't stop greatness. He couldn't even touch it. Midpoint flashbacks tore through him like lightning. The slow-motion block on Iguodala. The dribble drive to the rim with Kyrie's shot. The final seconds, frozen in memory. Those plays were executed by a man who had posted 29, 11, and 14 in a series for the ages. He sank to his knees. His hands shook. His voice cracked. Draymond was supposed to be unbreakable. Instead, here he was broken. Then, he dug for his phone. He dialed Kevin Durant. No words, just sobs. VD answered, voice tentative on the other end. "Dre, what's wrong?" "Man, he's on another level," Draymond said, tears spilling. "That series, that block, it broke something in me." Durant whispered, "It happens. He's the GOAT." And in that moment, Draymond felt it deep. The realization that greatness doesn't care who you are, how many rings you have, or how loud your roar is. It just is. The room felt colder. Draymond rose, his eyes puffy, soul forever cracked. He looked at his teammates, tired, numb, defeated. Perhaps they all understood. LeBron had bent them to his will. Bridge to next section. Draymond had seen LeBron break teams with will. But next, a rookie would come face to face with the same force and realize how alone he truly was. "Coach, wait, you mean me? You want me to guard him?" The rookie stammered, heart pounding so loud it nearly drowned out the crowd. The assistant coach didn't blink, just nodded. "Welcome to the league, kid." Minutes earlier, he was sitting on the bench, legs jittering, watching the game like it was a movie. LeBron was on cruise control, pulling up in rhythm, threading passes through windows no one else could see. It was poetic until it became personal. Now here he was, jersey damp, palms sweating, eyes wide, guarding the man who'd made Draymond Green cry, the man who had pushed Jimmy Butler to his absolute breaking point. LeBron glanced over, not with disdain, not with mockery, just a small, knowing smile, like a lion noticing the presence of a rabbit. He's just a player. Same court, same ball. The rookie repeated that mantra as he took his stance. Then LeBron moved. Not fast, not flashy, but direct. One jab, one dribble, shoulder in, step back, swish. No celebration, no trash talk, just a quiet jog back on defense. The rookie blinked. Was that the move? That was it. Why did it feel like the court tilted beneath him? Next possession, LeBron got the switch again. He called for the ISO without a word. Just a hand wave. Spin. Fade. Net. The rookie was trying. Really. But it was like trying to hold water with bare hands. LeBron wasn't reacting. He was controlling. Dictating tempo. Playing chess with someone still learning checkers. Midway through the second quarter, the rookie was already gassed. Hands on his hips. Chest heaving. Eyes searching for answers. But LeBron? He didn't even look tired. The next play, LeBron faked left, spun right, elevated, and dunked it with so much force the backboard trembled. The rookie barely jumped. Timeout. Coach pulled him. The crowd roared. He sat down, towel over his head, heart thudding in defeat. He didn't cry, but he wanted to. Not from shame, but from understanding. He peeked through the towel and saw LeBron jogging past, already calling out defensive rotations. Still locked in. Still chasing greatness like he hadn't already owned it for 2 decades. There were no words exchanged, just that same calm expression. After the game, the rookie stared at the box score. LeBron, September 8th, 33. Efficient, ruthless, clinical. He whispered to himself, "There's levels to this." And I was just a kid in a man's world. And he meant it. It wasn't just a lesson in basketball. It was a lesson in control, in poise, in dominance without ego. LeBron hadn't needed to humiliate him. Just show him, "I've done this to legends. You're just next in line. I had my moment. Now it's yours." Wade smiled, sweat still rolling down his brow, as he dapped up LeBron after their final game as opponents. LeBron just held his hand for a second longer, nodded, and whispered back, "Thank you, brother." The crowd inside Staples Center rose, knowing they'd just witnessed history. Not a game, but a goodbye. Wade walked toward the tunnel, his heart heavier than his legs. Not from defeat, but from reflection. That rookie's wide-eyed awe? Wade had lived that too. Only he hadn't guarded LeBron. He'd grown up beside him. He could still hear the echoes of their 3 a.m. workouts in Miami. No cameras, no press. Just 2 alpha competitors pushing each other past exhaustion. LeBron would collapse on the court floor, gasping, then yell out, "One more rep." Wade never let him do it alone. Those years were fire and steel, molded in Pat Riley's gym, forged in Eric Spoelstra's pressure cooker. Wade remembered one game in 2012, a brutal February night against Chicago. LeBron had a fever, shaking. Trainers wanted to sit him. But Bron looked at Wade and said, "If you suit up, I suit up." He dropped 40 that night. Barely talked. Just handle business. Wade watched from the bench in the fourth, towel over his head, stunned. "I knew that night," Wade later admitted, "that he was different. He wasn't chasing numbers. He was chasing moments." Now, years later, Wade sat in the visitor locker room for the last time, watching LeBron, older, wiser, leading a young Lakers squad like a proud older brother, talking calmly to Lonzo, patting Kuzma's back, correcting a defensive angle. He became what we dreamed about, Wade thought. He didn't just play the game. He reshaped it. The rookie who once trembled guarding him. Wade smiled. "Yeah, I've been that kid too." But unlike the others, Wade had been there during the build. He'd seen the missing pieces come together, the fear turn into fire, the criticism turn into clarity. He'd seen the block on Iguodala before it happened, because he knew that switch inside LeBron, the moment where he says, "Not today, not ever." As Wade left the arena, cameras followed, fans screamed, but he was locked in his own memory. He thought about LeBron's journey, from kid in Akron to rival to teammate to brother. Later, in an interview, someone asked him, "You've played with legends. Why is LeBron different?" Wade leaned forward, hands together. "I saw greatness every day, not on highlight reels, in the sweat, in the sacrifice." He didn't chase legacy. He lived it. That's what separates him. A pause. That's why he's the GOAT. No debate.